Hi guys, Julia here from Accessorize Your Life. Thank you for tuning into this video. I appreciate you being here. I want to share with you my thoughts on women's history, because March 1st through 31st, we celebrate the contributions that women have made to our culture, our society, and just our history in general. And one way for me to do it is through makeup. So I ran across an article that Hearst magazine had written after they interviewed Laura Geller. Now, Laura Geller is not new to me because I used to watch QVC back in the day, and she was always on there promoting her baked makeup, her makeup made in Italy, how baked makeup was different than regular or pressed pigment makeup. And she just came across as very knowledgeable and very, very, very enthusiastic about her products. And she wanted women to feel good in their skin, much like other makeup artists who deal with women-owned companies who try to help us get a grip on aging and wearing makeup and being comfortable in our skin. Well, Laura Geller is that to me. She's that, I don't know if she's Italian or not, but she's that Italian mom who is there for you. That's how I see her. She may not be Italian, so don't quote me on that. But anyway, like I said, she was interviewed by the magazine, and she gave 4 tips for women over 40 that probably she hasn't shared before. So I'd like to share them with you as I do my makeup. So I'm referring to my computer here because she is no baby when it comes to makeup. You know, she's been in the game a long time. Like I said, she was on QVC forever, and you know, you'd order her products late in the night, you know, and hope, at least for me, that they worked out for me, because they were basically colors that I wasn't sure would work for me, but I knew her techniques were good. That's where she would shine through for me. So she says here that she wants to focus on achieving a smooth, glossy, and even complexion with bright eyes for women, because that's where we suffer. As we age, our eyes tend to, you know, just kind of dull out, yellow toned or glossed over, and our skin lacks luminosity. We have texture and fine lines, so those are exacerbated as we age. So she's addressing those things in this article. And also she says that the makeup that she's going to recommend is things that don't settle in fine lines, things that just boost your look. So I'm going to use the products that I have from my Shop My Stash, maybe with one or two additional products, and as they relate to what she recommends. So I have them all out before me. I want you to know that I am no makeup artist if you're new here. If you're not new here, you already know that. I've never taken a course on how to apply makeup or anything. I just do what I feel comfortable with for me after reading or watching YouTube or people like Laura Geller on QVC or other places. So with that in mind, let's take her tips in hand and do this face. So I've already moisturized, because that is key, around my eyes and on my face. But one thing, the first tip that she gives us is that we need to prime. Definitely have to prime our face. There needs to be a barrier between our skin, our foundation, or concealer. It's so important. So I'm going to go in again with the Maybelline Poreless Jelly Primer, because this primer, and like she says, a primer is not only that barrier, but it's also hydration, and that's what this primer has in it, hydration as well, and it has niacinamide in it, so that is really good for the skin. So I'm going to go ahead and just get a generous amount of this Maybelline primer here. Again, this is what it looks like. It doesn't have any scent to it. I'm really liking this primer, and I've always been someone who felt that priming was good, just because I know that I have a lot of texture. Not that I have so many wrinkles, but texture on my skin and loss of elasticity. So when I prime my face, I want my makeup to last, and I want it to just lay better. First of all, lay better on my skin. And of course, help it to last throughout the day. Now, if you remember, if you were here for it, I read where you're to let this primer dry down. So you're not to start putting on your foundation, your concealer, or whatever right away. So this is a product that will help start your canvas off right by giving your makeup something to adhere to, by creating a barrier between your makeup and your skin, and also addressing, filling in the fine lines, the texture, so that your makeup is not sinking into the fine lines and the texture. She recommends a primer that she created herself, and it comes in a range of formulations that are tailored to address various skin concerns and preferences. She says that her personal favorite is the Laura Geller Speckle, and I have tried that before, the Speckle Skin Perfecting Primer. It hydrates, and I think you can get that for a relatively good price. Maybe like $21.50 at laurageller.com. Tip number 2, she says, is to use baked powder to avoid creasing. One thing where I kind of shift back and forth with this is that my skin, although I'm mature, my skin is mature, I don't suffer with a lot of wrinkles, but the texture. So when she says to avoid creasing, I'm thinking to avoid creasing here where I have dryness, and to fill in my textured areas without them looking dry like craters. So that's how I take this personally for me. Now if you're one with more wrinkles, as that's your main concern, then this is for you right here. She says baked powders aren't gimmicks, she says here in this article. They are created to by a process from creams to baked, and that means that they are lightweight, so they are almost like a sheer wash of foundation or whatever on your skin. They're weightless, she says, and they're creamy and hydrating. So that's the key. They want hydration there as well. Now, what I thought to use, I have a couple of things that I think fit the bill for this. I have L'Oreal Infallible. This is the fresh wear for 24 hours supposedly, and we want that longevity. So this is a pretty good powder foundation for skin like mine that is combo skin, oily and kind of dry, especially this time of the year. Now I think if I was going into winter, I would even try her baked powder foundation, but I have some drugstore ones on hand. This one from L'Oreal, like I just mentioned, and I also have the Fit Me. This is a powder, but it could very well cover the face as a foundation, and you would be just fine for my skin type, because like I said, I'm oily combo skin. But what I think I want to try today is this Maybelline Eraser Treatment Makeup. Now I found this when I went into CVS and returned that other Lumi Matte Foundation that was in $3.50. I picked this up and I thought it would be good to try. They have a powder foundation that I do want to try. I think it's a 16-hour wear. So this, like the concealer that Maybelline makes, you have to twist, 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 twist. Now I think the shade that I have in this foundation is rather dark, as you can see there, but I'm going to try it anyway. So there it is. Ooh, I did get a dark shade, but ooh, surprisingly, it's not too bad. This foundation doesn't come in many shades, but it does have SPF of 20 in it, and it has provitamin B5 in it. So I have it in shade 360. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that on my skin. I think this is a great alternative for me for what she's mentioning in the article, because I think it's lightweight. It's almost like a mousse texture. And look, it's blending very nicely. Alrighty, so let's read on what Laura Geller in the interview said about big products. So she explained that she likes weightless, creamy, and hydrating properties for mature skin. She says that the lightweight airiness keeps the powder from settling into wrinkles and prevents cakey and greasy looks. And I think this foundation has done that for me. Oops, got some on my lip. And I'm finding as I mature, as I get older, I really need to put my glasses on and look closely at my skin while I'm doing my makeup, because there's always something going on, something I created there. Okay, so she recommends her Double Take Bake Full Coverage Foundation, and the perk of it is eliminating the need to have a foundation and a setting powder, so you could just use one thing. And I think this almost does that for me too. I don't really feel like I need a setting powder. I think this just gels with the skin. The Double Take Bake Full Coverage Foundation, and it is good for rosacea, and it's also good for psoriasis, people who suffer from that, and it's dermatologist approved. And it retails for $21.60 at her site. I think it's on sale right now. Let's hit tip number 3. She says to swap out your black eyeliners for white. Now hear me out, because I love some Laura Geller eyeliners, the Incredibles. I have gone through several of my favorite one, which is the Brown Eyed Girl. I'm going to pull out a pencil that I shop my stash for. Wasn't even thinking, hadn't read this article, and it's in my shop my stash, so I'm happy about that. My pencil is from Revolution, and it is in color nude, so that's the color on the tip there. So what does she say about this eyeliner that is in white? She said, if you usually wear black eyeliner on your lower waterline, she recommends swapping it for beige or white. So here we go, like a beige, for the illusion of wider, more awake eyes. And that's one thing, as we mature, our eyes, like I said before, start to look tired or more yellow. So this will provide that widening effect, and between the white or the beige, it really doesn't matter. If you want a more natural look, the beige is it. So like I said, she has her Incredibles, and they go for about $13.20 right now at her site. So we're going to go right in here and just line here. What did it do? Did it open up my eyes any? Yeah, it certainly did. I can see that through the mirror. I'm really loving this. And I knew this tip. The last tip, I believe, is to use cream or liquid highlighters. And she says that you may be tempted to reach for that sparkly compact, you know, but it's chunky and it's glittery, and that formula isn't for us if you have fine lines and texture. I agree wholeheartedly, but I'm guilty of buying just that. Like I said, it emphasizes skin texture. Instead, she recommends a liquid or a balm formula that creates a blurring effect for a more youthful looking complexion. And she says an affordable, effective option is L'Oreal Paris Luma La Glace and Glow highlighting stick. Well, I don't have that, but I would be interested in checking it out. I think she shows a picture here of it. Yeah, Lumi Glass highlighting stick. To me, this looks a little, dare I say, greasy when I see it on the skin in here, but you can find it at Ulta for $12.99. So as far as application, use it to accentuate areas where you want to draw attention to. That could be the bridge of the nose and the high points of the cheek. Under the eyebrows is another place. And she likes using her fingers or a sponge to apply the highlighter because it helps adhere better. And she says that it gives us a natural lit from within finish, and yeah, so let's try that, even though I haven't put on some other products. So I wanted to share those 4 tips with you because Laura Geller, she's been in the business for a while. She's a game changer for her baked gel formulas, and also she knows women, and she knows mature women, and she knows what looks good on our skin and what works for our skin. Okay, now it's highlighter time. And for highlighter, I'm going to use a product that I did not pull in my Shop My Stash, but it is a drugstore product from Believe Beauty. Highlighting stick, Perfect Glow. And that's what it looks like. So I'm going to take some on my finger. This is a little old. I've had it for years. Smile. Well, no, not necessarily, but there's my high point there. That might be enough. I am going to take that blush brush and work it in right on the high point of that cheekbone. And I see it. Now, she did say we could use it here as well. So there you have it, guys. 4 tips from Laura Geller herself, celebrating women who have contributed to our society, our culture, our everyday life with makeup. It's how I'm going to celebrate women in history through makeup. And I like the tips that she gave in that article. My hair's looking a little shabby. We need to do a little twisting. I love the tips she gave, and tell me what you think of them. Are you using them already in your makeup routine, or did you like some of these and will implement them in your makeup regimen? Let me know. And we did this with all drugstore products, even though she recommended some great products there. They're not what's in my beauty tray for this month, so I use what I have. Use what you got. Use what you have. Use what's in your tray. Your Shop My Stash tray. All right, I'm signing out. Love you for being here. Love you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. So long.